Welcome back. Today we're checking out the Talking Heads for the very first time. I have heard their song Psycho Killer in movies and things like that. And so I thought it'd be interesting to get into a different type of catalog. I do like older music. The problem is I've heard a lot of music from back in the day. So it's refreshing to find something new for me. So let's get into it. We're going to check out their song Once in a Lifetime. I'm not sure the exact date, but we'll get into the lyrics and a little more information at the end of the video. So stick around. Thank you guys for clicking on the video. Don't forget to hit the like button. It really, really helps me out. And I do appreciate it. All right, let's get into it. What a time. So theatrical.
Living in a shotgun shack, and you may find yourself in another part of the world, and you may find yourself behind the wheel of a large automobile, and you may find yourself in a beautiful house with a beautiful wife, and you may ask yourself, well, how did I get here? Letting the days go by, let the water hold me down. Letting the days go by, water flowing underground into the blue again. After the money's gone, once in a lifetime, water flowing underground. And you may ask yourself, how do I work this?
Okay, sorry. That was a little bit entrancing. It's a very interesting concept. If I wasn't watching the video, I would get like an old school goth type of vibe, which I do like. And what he's saying, it's a little hard to follow. I know what he's saying. I'm trying to catch what he's trying to say. But it does feel, but my initial feeling is either one of gratitude and you should be grateful, or it's the opposite of that. It's some kind of cynical take on living this American dream, maybe. I'm stuck on the, happy, beautiful wife and house and stuff. So let's go back a little bit and go again. I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued. It feels like he's trying to say something, and that has hooked me. I know he seems silly, but to me, it's almost a red flag that there's something more behind it. Or a green flag. After the money's gone. Okay, no. I'm pulling up the lyrics. I can't wait. We're running it back.
And you may find yourself living in a shotgun shack, and you may find yourself in another part of the world, and you may find yourself behind the wheel of a large automobile, and you may find yourself in a beautiful house with a beautiful wife, and you may ask yourself, well, how did I get here? Letting the days go by, let the water hold me down. Letting the days go by, water flowing underground into the blue again. After the money's gone, once in a lifetime, water flowing underground. And you may ask yourself,
That is so interesting. Letting the days go by, let the water hold me down. Letting the days go by, water flowing underground. Into the blue again, after the money's gone, once in a lifetime. Okay. It's hard to put into words what I'm getting from it, but basically, it's the idea of not knowing what you have while you have it and missing it when it's gone. Now, what he intends for that idea, I'm curious to know. So let's keep going.
Yourself, how do I work this? And you may ask yourself, where is that large automobile? And you may tell yourself, this is not my beautiful house. And you may tell yourself, this is not my beautiful wife. Letting the days go by, let the water hold me.
Wow. It, it feels it feels silly. It feels silly, the song. The song feels silly, but what he's talking about there, that feeling of the imposter syndrome. This is not my beautiful house. This is not my beautiful wife. Where did everything go? All these things that you've built for yourself, physical and otherwise, physical and not physical, these support systems, when they start to fail you and you start to feel like a fake, or you realize you've always felt like a fake. This is deep, man. Tying into that imposter syndrome, a part of me feels like that's not what he's trying to say, but a bigger part of me can almost hear the pain in his voice. This is more intense than I expected, I'm not gonna lie. Am I just being a crybaby? I don't know. I've been emotional the last few days. Maybe that's why I enjoy The Warning and rock. Points me to a different type of emotion. This feels very introspective, which I also really, really like. Okay, let's do this.
This is not my beautiful house. And you may tell yourself, this is not my beautiful wife. Letting the days go by, let the water hold me down. Letting the days go by, water flowing underground into the blue again. After the money's gone, once in a lifetime, water flowing underground. Same as it ever was. 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 Letting the days go by. Let the water hold me down. Letting the days go by. Water flowing underground into the blue again. After the body's gone. Once in a lifetime. Water flowing underground. You may ask yourself,
She got me fucked up, man.
beautiful house. You may ask yourself, where does that highway go to? And you may ask yourself, am I right? Am I wrong? And you may say to yourself, my God, what have I done? Letting the days go by, let the water hold me down. Letting the days go by, water flowing. You may ask yourself, once in a lifetime. You may ask yourself, where does that highway go to? And you may ask yourself, am I right? Am I wrong? And you may say to yourself, my God, what have I done?
Yo, what the fuck? This is gonna be a bitch to edit, man. This is part of why. You know, this is part of why I started this channel in the first place. I went 30 years not crying like this at anything. My dad died when I was 15, and of course I cried, but not like this, and not like I have the last 3 to 5 years, you know? My hypersensitivity that I've stifled for so long just to try to survive has cracked me open in this sense, you know? Doesn't take much to get me like this. And if you've seen my previous videos, I don't know if maybe you wouldn't, maybe you haven't seen that side of me, but yeah, it's there. It's been there. But I have to say, this is the first time something hits me like this with you guys. And it was always my intention to be raw about it. So, here it is. I don't have access to therapy right now, so this is my way to stay afloat. Talking Heads, what the fuck, man? I was expecting something groovy, something, 80's pop. What the fuck? Alright, guys. Let's get through this. And I'm looking forward to the eventual climax and resolution of this song, which I'm sure will bring on another wave. Please hit the like button, guys. Subscribe. Every like is another tear in my eye of happiness. Counter the sadness, please. All right, let's do this.
Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. Look where my hand was. Time isn't holding up. Time isn't after us. Same as it ever was. 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 Once in a lifetime.
Wow, honestly, before I click on the annotations, I've kind of not wanted to go by the annotations here on Genius, but I feel like this is a much older song. And so there might be some actual context from the artists, from the Talking Heads here. But before I do, I feel like the metaphor of the water is almost like the past, letting the past go, water under the bridge, in that sense. I think it's worth reading this. This song is about being unafraid of the passage of time. That's very interesting. I was thinking about why those lyrics hit me so hard, and we all relate to music and lyrics through our own shared experience. And I had a conversation recently with a random guy actually about objectivity and how you could tell if something is actually real or not. And it was a great conversation, and I was arguing that we as human beings are incapable of doing anything objectively. There's an argument to be made about other things being real and not, but different topic for a different day. But me bringing my own human experience to this song and hearing the words and analyzing those thoughts that actually came to me, I related to the masking of my sensitivity, my empathy, my emotions, and my survival. My coping mechanism for survival was avoidance of conflict and anything uncomfortable. And that included putting my own needs and feelings aside for others to avoid conflict. And so I felt a lot of that in what he was saying when he talked about the imposter syndrome and, looking at everything you have and you feel like you actually earned that or you just almost skirted by. And that really did hit me. And then to learn that the song is actually about being unafraid of time and the passage of time and knowing that ADHD is, in a very real way, a deficit in time, an inability to manage time in many different ways. I'm very impressed. I'm very, very impressed with the lyrics and the feeling and the message and the performance. The video was much more powerful than I ever expected, honestly. All right, guys. That was a deep one. Thank you guys so much for clicking on the video. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the like button. Subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. And let me know in the comments what else I should check out from the Talking Heads. Or Talking Heads. Extremely impressed. Excited and a little scared for the next one. Thank you guys so much. Please take care. And I'll see you next time. Peace.